Hey guys, how's it going? Pete Mercer here. So, it is Wednesday the 2nd of October, and you should be able to tell by my douchey hat and scarf that it's early and I'm going outside. And today's a cardio day, so I'll be doing a lovely early morning cycle, which I haven't had a chance to do in quite a while. But you may also be able to hear the amount of splooshing and splashing of rain outside. So yeah, we're expected to have awful weather for the next couple of days. So we'll just have to wait and see what it is and how bad it is. But what I'm going to do is wait for the sun to come out, and then I will do some cardio vlogging and catch up on some things and figure out some things I want to talk about. Because I haven't been able to show any outside stuff for a while, so that's something I'd like to do. I have the day off from work, so I'm so happy about that. Just because of the long hours, it's nice to have a day off in the middle of the week, so that'll be good. And because it's cardio, I don't have to worry about going outside and training in the rain and things like that there. So it should be a nice, more chilled out, relaxed day. A few things I need to do. Definitely need to get some revision done. If the weather holds out and there's a bit of sun or a bit of light, maybe I'll do some gardening work. I would like to get a haircut. I need to do some business stuff as well, because I'm doing a business trip to London on the end of the month. Yeah, so from the 20th to the 30th, I believe. So I need to sort out flights and accommodation and things like that for that. I'm sure there are other things I can get up to, but it is, as I said, cardio day off work, free time, lots of time to use up, so I will need to be finding ways to do it. So today should be a good day, and I will try and ensure that this video has plenty of quantity and quality to it, because that's important, absolutely. So yeah, on that I would say it's time for breakfast, so let's do it. Breakfast of champions. Double shot espresso coffee. No, it's actually just a regular coffee. The oats are the breakfast of champions. Some champions. So it's now about 7:30. The sun is still pretty low down, so it's still not very bright. As you can see, it's dark inside, but look what I've managed to get done. Look at all these videos that have been watched. Yes. So I have really caught up. Hang on, actually. No, I can't put on the light, but I hope that I'm close enough to the screen and the whiteness of YouTube that you can see me. So yeah, I managed to catch up on just about all the YouTube stuff that I wanted to this morning. I will be uploading my next video, which I can give you like a sneak preview, is something that I've been meaning to get out for a while. Let's mute that. Oh, actually the funny thing is this video will be out before, or like the video you're now watching, Videoception, will be out before the video that you're currently watching comes out, because that's the way the internet works, isn't it? And another fascinating thing is that dear friend Cosmo has decided to start doing any percent Castlevania runs, so that's pretty exciting, for me anyway, because that's something I'd love to see. And I mean, he's been doing so much of the Wind Waker HD, it's really cool to see him doing the Castlevania stuff, because that's another thing I absolutely love. So it's like been my main two things when it comes to watching Twitch. If I've got nothing on YouTube to watch and I'm doing some business or whatever, and I want something in the background, going to Twitch. My go-tos are usually, I've got 3 at the minute. Well, the 2 main ones are Cosmo and Fiesel. So Cosmo does the Zelda stuff, and now quite a bit of Castlevania stuff, and Fiesel's doing Final Fantasy 1 world record runs, which have been fantastic, and that really brings me back to the good old memories of olden times of playing games like that. In fact, it took me ages. I started off, Final Fantasy 7 was of course the first one, being that was the generation, which that's what we did. So I went through like 7, 8, 9, 10, and then got bored at 12, and then went back and then found like 1 through 6, and so I've beaten them all except 12 now, or have I? Oh, I don't remember. Reminiscing. But so this is all very, very good. I still haven't got out for my morning cycle. I'll probably do it about 8 o'clock. I reckon there'll probably be enough light there to get some stuff done. So it's good though, because it means that I'm in no hurry, I'm in no rush. I can just ease into my day. I don't have to worry about getting to work. I don't have to worry about getting the workout done in time. I can just free ball it. So it's nice. So here we go, on the road again, doing some cardio, gonna get some miles done. So first things first, if you're gonna do cardio on a bicycle, top tip for you, just give me a wee second. There you can see, bright blue sock. Now, obviously, the cars need to shut up. Thank you. Oh, this is not a good idea. Dual carriageway cycling vlog, not a good idea. But, as many of you know, the gears are controlled between your legs on a bike, and the one on the right, the gears tend to be exposed, and if you've got loose tracksuit bottoms or jeans or something along those lines, and it's windy or something like that, it is very, very easy to have your trousers catch on your bike. Number one, your leg might get caught, you might stumble, stall, roll over, get damaged, hurt, injured, not a good thing. And possibly more importantly, you might fray your trackies or your new jeans. Let's say you're stupid enough to cycle on to a first date with someone, you want to impress them, you want to look nice and classy. You cycle along the road, you're feeling good, you're feeling sexy, everything's going your way, and then you have a sudden gust of wind or something, you look and you think, oh gosh, look, nice little tree, and boom, fray, torn inside this massive hole in your trouser leg, and it all falls apart. She's late, she shows up with another man, or I suppose this can work for everyone. He's late, he shows up with another man. The floors are broken, the water's gone off, they're using tap water. The service stinks because the waiters had a bad day from, I don't know, they were really disappointed with the last episode of The Simpsons. I don't know, the TV's falling, it's all bad, the food tastes awful, they've got a new chef in who doesn't really know what he's doing. There's nuts in the meal, you've got an allergy, and it's all because of the bike. So the top tip is, tuck your damn trouser leg into your socks when you're cycling, don't get caught in the gears, and you will have successful first dates all around. There's some life advice. In terms of how things are going with regards to prep, etc. So obviously today we've got 144 pounds, really sitting anywhere between 142 to 145 pounds at the minute. So by the end of the month, by the end of last month, there we go, so we're starting the new one, because we're now into October, so basically wanted to be around 144, 145 at the end of last month, so succeeded in that, and the goal is to gain this month and next month £2 a month, so we're shooting for around 146, 147 by November, Christmas time. Looking to be about 149, maybe 150, and then after that we're going to slow down the weight gain to £2 every 6 weeks, so we're kind of going at 2/3 the pace that we'll be doing this month and next month. Alberto doesn't reckon he's going to up my food this week, that's just as a heads up. The check-in isn't until tomorrow, but the plan was to go with 70 fat, 325 carb, 180 protein for a couple of weeks and see how we gain on that, and then adjust. I don't know when my training split is going to change. I imagine it'll be quite soon, since the recovery is pretty much there. Everything's gone well on that. So Alberto is going to give me a program to follow. I don't know what it's going to be yet, or how it's going to split up, but we just have to wait and see. Then after that we want to become pretty self-sufficient. That's the whole point, is that
transitioning into the off season, obviously the reverse, the recovery is very important, so I can really do with having Alberto's help there. But the point is for him and I to work collaboratively together, so I can get any knowledge I need, understanding, and work together to find how or what the best approach is, and then I can continue that on myself, develop my own diet, if you will, or like nutrition plan, my own training stuff. I've already got some ideas. Definitely number one goal in the next years before I compete again is to put on as much size as possible. So I will be focusing more on hypertrophy than strength, but obviously there will be strength elements that are important. I would also like to do some powerlifting meets upcoming. That would be great. So, but that definitely won't be until 2014, possibly not even until summer 2014. I don't know if I'll look into doing any early ones to see, because it just wouldn't be worth it. It wouldn't be conducive to my goals and what I'm doing at the minute. My arm's starting to get tired. So, in terms of the progression scheme that I'm thinking about doing or shooting for, I'm thinking basically there are things called microcycles, mesocycles, and macrocycles when it comes to training. A microcycle is basically week to week, meso month to month, and macro yearly, basically. So I'm thinking of going for 8-week microcycles in terms of training. This is like eventually once I've got everything ironed down and I've spoken to Alberto, well, we've got a good idea, and I'm thinking of doing, it'll be 2 weeks endurance, 4 weeks hypertrophy, 2 weeks strength. So the idea behind that is you go through an endurance phase, and that basically allows you to recruit all the motor neurons when you're doing your exercises, get your central nervous and peripheral nervous system like locked on, and be able to perform the lifts at the weight you're comfortable with doing that correctly. That's to improve things like form and technique, like activation, motor units, all that kind of good stuff. Then go for the 4 weeks of hypertrophy, and that's basically just to advance in size. So we start activating the type 2 fibers, and we'll be using the motor recruitment that I've developed from the endurance phase to activate the type 2 fibers, encourage that growth hormone, the testosterone, and obviously go for that hypertrophy muscle growth. And then I'll go through a 2-week strength phase, and the idea behind that is to utilize the size that I've got, the motor recruitment of the type 2 fibers now, as opposed to largely type 1 and type 2A, and I'll be doing the type 2B, and then basically I'll have gotten to a point where I can only do a certain amount of weight with a hypertrophy range. So what I want to do is obviously use the hypertrophy that I've gained over the 4 weeks and develop the strength behind that. And I need to turn at some point here, so this could be interesting. I'll just put you down there, have a look. Okay, there is a car behind me. So what I'll probably do is wait for it to go and then turn. Yep, okay, we're good now. Let's move across. And again, okay. And we've got 2 cars coming. So after this car, I should be able to... Nope, hang on. Wait for this one. And go. Alright, heading back on. How long has this been? Let me just check. 8 minutes. I'm making good time, so I'm just going to rest that there. Hopefully you can hear me okay, and see me okay. But we'll see. My arm's too tired to hold the camera. So we'll do that and spend the 2 weeks then building up the strength of the muscles that I've now gained. And then you cycle that through. So you go through the endurance phase again for the new muscle that you've accumulated and the strength that you've accumulated. And then you want to also adjust again to recruit those motor patterns and then develop onwards like that. Because what people tend to do, they go through hypertrophy phases, and strength phases, and they just like cycle through those without too much order or organisation, and they leave out that endurance work because you think that, well, that's just maintenance kind of thing, or high rep work's only for cutting or getting the low body fat, which is complete bull, absolute nonsense. in my humble opinion, and things like that. But it is important to go through the endurance phase to be able to recruit those motor patterns at higher weight. And that's why you see form breakdown typically when people go for like maxing out and things, they'll do X amount of training and that there, and then it comes to either they start going on the strength phase and they start doing higher weight, lower reps, or they're doing maxing out and things like that there, and you go for your PB or you go for your 1 rep max, and the form goes and you really grind it out, or you fail the lift or the rep or whatever. So it is important to go through endurance phases. So that's my plan, is like 8-week microcycles, and then I'll have obviously strength goals or size goals over the coming months or whatever, which I'll have to work out and sort out myself. So that's the general plan. And when it comes to the training, and I don't know where I'm going to stop when it comes to the weight gain. Obviously I want to keep progressing gradually over the coming years, and we are talking absolutely, we're confidently talking years in terms of progression. But obviously if I keep gaining 2 pounds every 6 weeks, or even change it to like a pound a month, 2 pounds every 2 months, that would be then at some point that is probably going to overtake the amount of muscle growth and strength that I'm putting on, and then I will become less lean, and I'll not be in as conditioned a state as I will want to be in my off season in preparation for the next contest season, even though that is years away. But again, things like that might change. I might become quite content at a certain body fat and not worry about it too much, or a body fat that might be more conducive for powerlifting meets. Again, it's one of these things, everything changes. That's the beauty of life, it's the beauty of everything that you do, is that there's infinite variety, flexibility, and that's just a wonderful, beautiful thing, to have that. I thrive on uncertainty. So that's the general plan. So yeah, pretty much I think that's about it when it comes to what I want to do. Break down the training protocol in terms of what split I'm on, no clue. In terms of frequency, no clue, things like that there, but that will come in the future, and I'll be talking to Alberto first before I even think about starting my own training protocol and program. Macros are fairly straightforward. I mean, I've got a fine grasp on what to do there. I'll just take where I am now and build on it, basically, seeing as we've got a good foundation. So there you go, that's pretty much it. Cardio, at the minute I'm still doing 800 calories a week, which is absolutely fine and dandy. Because I'm not working, I can actually enjoy going out for a cycle, even though it's miserable and grey and whatever, but sure, that's what happens. So I don't know if we'll get to a point in the gaining phase where we just completely cut out cardio. I mean, some people will typically say, there's a number of schools of thought. One of them is that, well, you're a bodybuilder or powerlifter or weightlifter or whatever it is that you classify yourself as, or what you're actually competing in or what your goals are. So ideally you want to be focusing on the training. You don't want to be thinking about doing cardio and things like that. So one school of thought is that you should aim to get to a point in your gain season where you're not doing any cardio. And the other school of thought is, well, you want to keep up your cardiovascular health, you want to keep up their fitness, and keep things like increased stroke volume, lung capacity, oxygen, VO2 max, resting heart rate down, things like that there, and all of that is primarily done through cardiovascular exercise. Some people say, you must be doing cardio, say like 30 minutes 3 times a week, 20 minutes 3 times a week, even just little bits here and there. So at the minute I'm doing 400 calories twice a week, burnt. It takes as long as it takes, and the bike doesn't take as long as walking or jogging or running. This is just something that I've taken to recently. I mean, I've thoroughly enjoyed cycling, and obviously it's the easiest way for me to get to work when I don't have a car, so that's been just the way that I've solved and worked to do that, and then it's worked in conjunction with the cardio very well indeed. So that's a good thing, but I'm not sure what point we're going to get to. I am more than happy to keep cardio on. We might just reduce it a bit. I might just go for like walks 3 times a week. You do not have to do strenuous, high intensity interval training see results or to stay lean. It is a tool that can be used depending on what you want. I think the reason a lot of people like to combine HIIT training when it comes to or like combine HIIT training as cardio with a strength training program with that there is because HIIT training very much replicates what you're doing in the gym. So you do like one set might be 5 to 10 seconds of like high intensity work or high stress load work in the body, and then you take a minute, 2 minutes rest, and then you hit it hard again, and that is pretty much the definition of your high intensity intervals right there. So the two do go hand in hand very well, which is I think a reason why a lot of people like it, but there's no harm in doing medium or low intensity steady state cardio, none whatsoever. It's calories in versus calories out, and that there. Now in terms of what I plan to do in terms of tracking food, at the minute, tracking absolutely everything, counting it to the gram. I'll eat out a couple of times, in fact I'll be eating out for lunch, get prepared for that. So I've been doing a lot more guesstimation with like pre-cooked foods that don't have labels and things. So if someone offers me a bun, I'll be like, yeah, of course I'll take the bun, and I'll just be like, that's maybe 3 grams of fat, 15-20 carbs, 2 protein, something like that, and I'll just plug the macros into MyFitnessPal and be happy and go along merrily on my day and not have to be like restricted in that way. I mean, obviously before, if I wanted to go out for a meal, I would plan the meal and it would be fine, but I would need to know really ideally in advance. If not, I mean, it could be a bit tough, but then it'll come to the point at the end of the day when you get offered a treat or something, or later on, and it can be very hard to actually make it work with your macros, or you've got all your meals prepared because you've got a long day at work and you have to turn down food because you can't really be flexible when you've got all your meals with you. So at the minute, I've been able to be a lot more flexible of late and just be able to have those things, which I don't necessarily know the exact macros because it's not as important as long as I've got a good idea. And it's one of these things that practice makes perfect. The more you go out, the more you experience different foods and you find trends and things. That's how you know. And you guesstimate weight a lot better. I mean, nothing prepares you more for guessing macros than weighing everything out for months and months of contest prep. You get such a good idea of what everything is. So obviously we will be transitioning to ranges eventually, so that I don't know what the range be. It might be 20 grams for fats and 50 grams for carbs or protein or whatever, but hey, we'll just wait and see what happens in terms of that. I don't think I'll come to a point when I don't track my macros. I might come to a point when I stop using the scale. I eyeball most things, probably after a year or so when I'm very comfortable with everything and I really have no concerns with like a couple of pounds weight fluctuation day to day. I will continue to weigh myself daily, and just as far as I'm concerned, the more data you have to play with, the more variables you can control, and the more like progression and periodization you can plan. So I think it's absolutely essential for me anyway. But obviously the goal is to become more and more relaxed, less rigid and hard and cold, and be able to be more flexible, open and warm as a person. So definitely things to consider, but that's pretty much the general plan. I think I'm probably starting to ramble now. I'm also coming up to a roundabout, and there's no way that I'm going to try and signal and do all this stuff and cycle and vlog on a bike coming up to a roundabout. So there we go. That's my like little catch up for post-season stuff and an idea of what's going to come in the future and what have you. So I think after this we're going to go back, chill out, watch something on the internet maybe, and then it'll be lunchtime. So I will see you once I've gotten lunch. Have a guess what it's going to be. Oh yeah. Okay, so I'm heading down the street now to have a haircut, and the irony behind getting a haircut when it's raining outside has not escaped me, but hey, we'll see what happens. Maybe it'll hold up alright. I've got a very particular look in mind, so whenever it's done, assuming all has gone well, and I show you how it looks, you might be able to tell me who you think I've based the haircut on. After that, I need to get some money out of the bank. The damn cars are making too much noise. And once I've done that, I'll be heading down further the street, get my lunch, and it's going to be so good. So here we go. So sometimes there's that awkward moment when you forget that your hairdresser isn't open on a Wednesday, but instead she's open on a Saturday, so you can't get your hair cut today. And then you go to have your lunch and you arrive before the store is actually open. So far, apart from having a wonderful cycle and day of cardio, everything else has been disaster, and the rain is only getting worse. So we'll see. Hopefully this place will open. There's no point. I should be open within the next 5 minutes, I hope. If not, I'm in trouble and I'll have to go seek shelter somewhere. But we'll see what happens. No, not good.
Alright, time to eat. We've got chicken, chips, coleslaw. I've got Cosmos 80% soak and run from yesterday or a day or two ago. Napkins for when I make a mess. A few drinks there. And this is lunch, so yeah, this is good food. Time to enjoy. So the best thing about being the first customer at any given restaurant on any given day is that it's all freshly cooked. And I was right there, I saw them making the first batch of chips and chicken. Oh, those chips were amazing. That's probably the best I've ever had there. Just nice, just a bit of crisp crunch on the skin or whatever it is. What happens to the chip? How does deep frying or oven cooking like happen with chips? When you put the potato in and then it forms this like golden coating. It's not. I mean, obviously, if you bread chicken, that's what gives it the bread over it is what gets like that golden crispiness. Or if you've got the skin on the chicken, that will happen. What happens with potato chips? Not potato chips. Potatoes when you turn them into fries. You know who I'm accommodating. Either way, just like a nice bit of crisp and just softness on the inside. Oh, that's a good lunch. Alright folks, here it is. Unit 2, time to get on the nutrition game. Applying the principles of nutrition to physical activity. There's my outcomes and things to do. So, gonna get on this. Cosmo is practicing his shield dashing ability in Soton, and his 80% runs. He's actually just come on. Well, I say he may not or may have just come on, but he's currently live doing streaming. So, got that on the background. I'll get some of this done. It's still dark, grey, gloomy, and wet outside, so it does not look like I'll be getting any housework done, but the day is still young-ish, so we'll see what happens. And then once I get through this unit, it'll be time to eat again. So sad. Best part of the day, food. But hey, it's good food. I do eat good food. Alright, so here is dinner. Some chicken fried rice. Got onions, peas, chicken, soy sauce, all the good stuff in there. So I'm going to have that there. Cosmo's still streaming. I've got my revision sitting. It's, yeah, so outside. The giant spider is still there, watching guard at the house. Good man. But the rain has stopped, so it's a good thing. So, there we go. Going to enjoy this, and then I'll have to figure out something else to do before I cap off my macros at the end of the day. So, time to eat. So there is supper fresh out of the microwave. You can still see the steam coming off it. This is my sticky toffee pudding. I know there's been a lot of sticky toffee on the channel, but that's because things aren't done on a day-to-day basis. So I swear there have been other flavours and things that I've eaten between the cooking video and that there. Also preparing some steak and onion. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous. There's nothing like cooking meat in onion. I mean, it's one thing to add onion powder or things like that afterwards, but no, you have to. Oh, you make a lovely stock. Get some carrot in there, parsley, celery sticks, onion. Just that flavour just comes to life, and then a casserole that was prepared earlier with the sweet and sour chicken in it. Let's get some light on that. So that was made as well. So lots of activity in the tumble dryer and the washing machine. It's all going on. It's machine industry, factory, etc., etc. But yeah, it turns out not very much happened between dinner and now. The weather was awful. The rain came back on again, and it was just one of those days. So yeah, it happens. Well, there's Ian home. So everyone's end of the day, bedtime, and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna eat this, and then have a sit down and go to bed after that. And tomorrow's a new day. I have a dentist appointment tomorrow. I went to the dentist in like April. It doesn't seem that long ago, but apparently they need to see me again. I don't know, is it 6 months check up for the dentist? I don't know. So dentist appointment tomorrow. And remember when I went for that chimney last week, like the burrito thing? Well, it's every Thursday is when the people from work go there, and I'm not in tomorrow, working in the hospital. So I don't know. I want one. I don't know which one. How bad would it be? Like literally, either cycling or getting a bus in, like to the hospital to get a lift to go have a burrito. Literally just to come back. I would only be going there to have a burrito, and I'm genuinely that. Do you know how good it was? Genuinely considering it. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, I'll let you know on Friday what happened there, and then check in tomorrow as well and stuff. So I can let you know what happened then on Friday as well. So yeah, Friday should be good. Not that today wasn't a good day. So there we go. That'll do it for me. So as always, thanks for watching. I'm Pete Mercer. Show no mercy, and of course, take it easy.